a research team discovered some wooden pieces buried in the soil near the Great Wall of China. The astonishing thing wasn't just that these wooden pieces were 2,000 years old, but also that something was clearly written on them in the Chinese language. When these words were translated with the help of a Chinese translator, the entire research team was left stunned. Welcome to Human Archive new video. Every year, millions of people come to be amazed, because this is Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is considered the largest man-made structure. This wall is so massive that neither a drone can capture it entirely at once, nor can it be seen completely from any plane. In fact, there is only one way to view the entire wall at once, and that is from outer space, about 500 kilometers above the ground, where its photo can be captured. Only a few lucky people have crossed this entire wall on foot. 3 friends crossed the entire wall in 1994, and it took them 17 months to complete this entire mission. That means it took 510 days just to cross it on foot. This wall passes through towering mountain peaks, terrifying forests, and even blazing deserts. It is as tall as a double-story house, up to 20 feet wide, and stretches for thousands of miles. If just walking across it took 510 days, imagine how much effort must have gone into building it. It's truly hard for you and me to even estimate. But what was the need for such a massive wall? Who were those people who, even in that era, managed to complete such an extremely difficult challenge? And even after many centuries, this wall, spread over thousands of miles, still hides many secrets within itself. These are the kinds of questions that used to be very hard to answer. But as technology has advanced, more and more secrets of this magnificent wall have started to be revealed. About 60 kilometers from Beijing, in the mountains of Jingshengling, lies a portion of the Great Wall that still exists in its original condition, meaning this part of the wall is still exactly as it was built centuries ago. According to satellite data, this section in Jingshengling passes through extremely high mountains. Massive watchtowers are present along the wall. To keep them well ventilated, large windows were built into each tower, and each tower has space to accommodate at least 50 people. Experts say that around 25,000 such watchtowers have been counted throughout the entire wall, and they were constructed during the reign of the Ming dynasty in China. This portion of the wall and the watchtowers are approximately 650 years old. Experts also observed large intersections or junctions on the wall between the watchtowers. It appears that these were built during the initial construction of the wall. But what was the purpose of these intersections? Experts believe that in the event of an attack, these intersections were used strategically. Soldiers standing on the wall would launch large fireballs from here, the sight of which alone was enough to make the enemy too scared to climb up. You see, this wall wasn't just a wall. It was an entire military defense system. But then, who was the enemy that posed such a threat to the Chinese army? Satellite data revealed that to the north of this structure lay dense forests where the Mongols lived during that time. For centuries, these Mongols would invade and loot parts of China. They, the Mongols, used to set fire to the settlements here. Due to the frequent Mongol raids, the people of China were extremely troubled. That's why the emperor built a wall here, so that the Mongols could no longer enter China. This is because large portions of the wall were built in such locations, where even reaching on foot is very difficult. This is the reason experts were astonished. How were such massive stones transported to places where even humans can barely reach? To understand this, it was necessary to create a 3D model of the entire wall using drone technology. When drone footage was used, secrets began to reveal one after another. Yes, in the 3D model created with the help of drone footage, something was seen at the bottom of the wall that surprised the experts. It was discovered that there were secret doors placed at the base of the wall. It appeared that these doors were built for some special mission. Now, experts were puzzled. If this wall was built to protect against the Mongols, then why were such doors included? And these were not ordinary doors. They were hidden deep within the mountains, only visible from a certain position of the wall. More than 50 such secret doors have been discovered. Experts believe that perhaps Chinese army soldiers, disguised as Mongols, would exit through these doors and mingle with the Mongols to spy on them. But apart from these secret doors, there was something else that forced researchers to think even more deeply. Using drone footage, experts also discovered a secret tunnel. By looking at the entry point of this tunnel, It seemed quite different from the other doors. It appeared that it had been forcibly broken. When it was investigated in detail, it was confirmed that this tunnel had been broken not from the outside, but from within the wall itself. But the question arose. When there were already secret doors, why was the wall broken from the inside at this point? Researchers believe that this tunnel was specially built during the construction of the wall itself, meaning its purpose was already known in advance. That purpose was, in case of an emergency, if the Mongols attacked the wall, then soldiers from the main army could break through this tunnel and launch a counterattack from behind the enemy. This was just one tunnel that had been broken. That's why it was visible in the drone footage. Countless such tunnels still present. These tunnels must still exist within the Great Wall of China. Now the question arose. Just how far does this wall stretch? And if it truly was such a sophisticated defense system, then where exactly was its headquarters located? When experts tracked the wall using satellite data, they discovered that this entire system stretched from China's highest mountains all the way to China's Gobi Desert. This entire structure was built by the Ming dynasty about 650 years ago, and its length will truly astonish you. Yes, the recorded length of this wall is 8,150 kilometers. That distance is equivalent to traveling from New Delhi to Mumbai, 7 full times back and forth. One part of the Great Wall of China even ends in the sea, while its starting point is located in the Gobi Desert, where a grand fortress is built. Experts believe that this fortress is much larger than the other watchtowers visible along the wall, and it may have served as the headquarters of the Ming army. Until now, experts thought the wall ended in the Gobi Desert. But then some satellite images were captured that completely shocked the research team. The satellite images revealed something astonishing. A broken and crumbling wall appeared to continue beyond the previously known end. Visually, this wall looked much older than the Great Wall of China, and large portions of it had been lost over time. About 250 kilometers from the fortress, deep in the desert, when this wall was examined closely, it became clear that it was much older than the wall built during the Ming dynasty. Near this old wall, researchers and archaeologists found several broken arrowheads. To determine how old these arrowheads were, carbon dating was necessary. So when these arrowheads were sent to the lab for carbon dating, the results were truly shocking. The test revealed that the arrowheads were 2,200 years old. That means they predate the Ming dynasty by more than 1,500 years. But during that time, neither the Ming dynasty ruled China, nor did the Mongols exist. So who built this older wall, and why? Alongside this ancient wall, researchers also found strange, broken structures made of mud. No one could figure out what their purpose was. But then, some new evidence was found that completely stunned the research team. The search became even more interesting when, along with the wall, researchers found a few pieces of wood on which something was written in the Chinese language. These pieces of wood were buried in the desert sand and were over 2,000 years old. Yet they were surprisingly well preserved, and the writing on them was clearly legible. When Chinese experts translated the inscriptions, it was revealed that these wooden pieces belonged to a military commander and contained several instructions. One instruction stated that if the Huns, an ancient warrior tribe, approached for an attack, flags should be raised on all watchtowers, and if the attack happened at night, the towers should be set on fire to signal danger. The Huns ruled these regions around 2,100 years ago and were considered even more dangerous than the Mongols. Not only that, but the wooden piece also described a method to signal the number of enemy soldiers. For example, if 1,000 horsemen were approaching the border, a single hand signal would alert everyone. After reading this, experts and researchers realized that these strange mud structures were actually 2,000-year-old watchtowers, which were connected to each other even back in that time.
The watchtowers built along the wall must have presented an incredible sight. Alongside this ancient wall that stretches for thousands of miles, researchers also found evidence proving that this wall was not just built to protect the border, but also to protect the Silk Route. The Silk Route was used in ancient times for trade. It connected China to Eastern and Western countries. Silk was the main commodity traded along this route, which is why it was called the Silk Route. This route was extremely important for China because back then, nearly all of China's economy depended on it. For that reason, China had to protect the Silk Route at any cost. According to experts, the length of this ancient wall is 12,000 kilometers, significantly longer than the wall built during the Ming dynasty. If all of China's walls are combined, their total length comes to about 21,000 kilometers. And if all of these walls are fully discovered, their reach might even go beyond that. A recent report states that nearly 50% of the Great Wall has broken down and disappeared. Sadly, it's also important to mention that during the construction of just the Ming dynasty's section of the wall, around 400,000 people lost their lives. It is believed that many of those who were made to build this wall were forced laborers, punished and made to work against their will. Some even believe that many of the workers who died were buried within the wall itself. We hope you'll like and share this video from Human Archive. Thank you so much for your kind comments. We'll see you in the next amazing video. Kindly subscribe to our channel.